All right, guys, we're going to jump into the meat segment today. And today I've got some special bacon for you. I've got the local CEO and owner of Rocky Mountain Pro Wrestling. And with me today, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you Yaden.
What's happening? How's it going?
Great, Yaden. How are you today, buddy?
I'm good. We just finished an episode of Rocky Mountain Rewind and just got done with the Twitch thing. So now I'm on here with you. So I was looking forward to us doing this.
Yeah, definitely. I've been looking forward to speaking to you as well. Why I want to tell my listeners out there today why we got you on. Well, we got a special event coming up on September 26th. What can you tell me about that, Yaden?
So that's our return to charge television taping. So we obviously haven't taped any television since March. That's when we started doing the Rewind show on Twitch to kind of keep people seeing content every week and now every day, really, as we were working through this. And Milestone 10 on August 29th, we returned to taping live, and that was our 10-year anniversary. So now we're returning to taping our weekly television show, Charged. We'll get 2 episodes taped, and it'll be streaming on Twitch for those that can't make it live. It's a limited engagement, so tickets go pretty quick for that. But if you're a subscriber on Twitch, you can watch it live as it streams. So it's pretty exciting to get back to TV.
That's what I'm excited about. I follow you guys there on Twitch. I was actually watching you guys a little bit this morning, and I also have caught a little bit of what my listeners might know or might not know about you is you guys run a camp over there. And tell me a little bit about that and who you have been partnered up with here recently there at the camp or the gym, you should say.
Right. So we have our own wrestling academy. It's founded in 2014, and it was the Mercury Pro Wrestling Academy, and then we changed the name to Rocky Mountain Pro Wrestling Academy. But we have recently partnered with Ohio Valley Wrestling in Louisville, Kentucky, and have become an Al Snow Wrestling Academy. So the school is officially now ASWA Rocky Mountain, and we are affiliated with Ohio Valley Wrestling. We train at Fast Performance, which is a performance and fitness facility there in Denver. They specialize in baseball training, so they've got some pitching tunnels, some batting cages. We have a strength and conditioning coach, our head of performance, Scotty Long, who's an athletic trainer with the Colorado Mammoth indoor lacrosse team. So he runs the strength and conditioning classes with a lot of our talent, and then we're in ring Mondays through Thursdays there. A lot going on there at the school, but it's pretty exciting to be affiliated now with the legendary Ohio Valley Wrestling and Al Snow. So lot to look forward to as we kind of get back into everything.
Absolutely. And me and Yaden have talked here recently before, and like I've expressed to him, my firm belief, if you're a wrestling fan, we all know that you have to start somewhere, and it's people like you guys out there that train the people, get the guys, and girls, which say, going, getting the techniques down, stuff like that. And then, you kind of got, you guys go unlooked or unheard of most of the time. And that's why I'm bringing you guys on, because I want to get this out there a little bit more, that we do have something fabulous like that going on here in Colorado. And, for the people that don't know much about you, Yaden, why don't you tell us a little bit where how long you've been in the business and where you kind of came from?
So I started in 2001, and I grew up not a wrestling fan. Like, nobody in my family was really into wrestling. I had my best friend in Texas when we lived there at my elementary school years. We're in Corsicana, Texas. And I remember he would watch WWF, and I would see it on when I would stay the night at his house. I remember I have a couple memories of like it being on TV, seeing the Macho Man. I always thought the Macho Man was pretty awesome. And you didn't have to watch professional wrestling to know Macho Man, Hulk Hogan. You saw them in pop culture. You saw them in commercials and on Arsenio Hall and places like that. So I knew what it was. Wasn't really a fan of it, though. I was a big baseball fan. I love baseball. That's what I wanted to do was play professional baseball. And my senior year of high school, I met a group of guys in 1999 working at the mall at Richland, the Richland Mall in Ontario, Ohio. I worked at the Metabolife stand selling the Metabolife pills. I think very, very early diet pills. I think that was kind of its infincy. I don't remember a lot of those.
I remember they were in our mall in Indiana.
Yeah, and I worked there, and then next to me was the Beanie Wagon is what it was called, and it was the kiosk full of Beanie Babies because this was at the height of the Beanie Baby craze. So I got to know these two guys, Bill and Joe, and they were backyard wrestlers, and they wrestled at their friend in Ontario, Ohio. They wrestled in their friend's living room. and they'd been doing it for a couple years, actually. Invited me over to hang out with them. I'd gotten interested in wrestling around 97, 98, the Mike Tyson being involved with WWF piqued my interest because I grew up loving Mike Tyson because kid of the 80s and 90s.
Me too. Same here,
Mm-hmm. So I was interested. I went in, hung out with these guys, and then, it just one thing led to another. I got officially trained in 2001, and then here we are in 2020, and I'm still doing it. So that's kind of the path that led me here.
Yeah, 19 years strong. That's a pretty long time. There's a lot of wrestlers that, can't last but maybe 5 years, especially now with the injuries, concussions, and things like that. People have listened here recently on my podcast, and I mentioned a little bit about you guys. And, I found out from Rocky Pro is what I like to call it. Coming out of the AEW show, and you guys were in mass presence out there. You guys are handing out your flyers, word of mouth, spreading the word. And for a lot of my listeners out there don't know this or realize this, you guys have produced some heavy talent. And right now we got a current talent that, in my eyes, is probably the baddest gimmick, the best looking gimmick, and probably the scariest in the girls
Right.
division, if you ask me. And that's Abaddon.
Right.
What could you tell me about that?
Just an example of somebody who came in, found her way, believed in what she was doing, worked very hard, trained with us for a couple years, and really put her all into what she was doing, and had a never give up attitude, and was able to took full advantage of the opportunity to very early on in her wrestling career do more than just wrestle in a ring. Like, she took full advantage of the television production and making it a big deal, and having the opportunity to work on TV that early on is pretty rare. So she took full advantage of it and just did not quit. And she was given an opportunity, and she seized that opportunity and then just ran with it and just doing very well. So it's a great story, and it's a great example of when you get in there. The first step is you got to show up. And then the second step is you got to keep showing up, and then you got to keep working hard, and you got to never give up. And it's pretty exciting to see things like that. Every time we watch Otis in WWE, Otis trained here from 2015 to 2016. So as you see Otis succeeding, and another example of somebody that just showed up, did the work, had a great attitude about it. And if you look on to Ring of Honor, Dak Draper, was here, Colorado guy, and helped coach at the school for a while. And Royce Isaacs out there at NWA, was also someone that came from Colorado, wrestled at various places, was a student at the school, and helped coach too before leaving. So these are all people that just they find the opportunities, the platforms, and they work really hard, and they take full advantage of that. And then when their opportunities pop up, they take full advantage of those opportunities. So it's great to see.
And that's what I love the most about, the local stuff. Like, I guarantee you my listeners out there had no idea. That was going to actually be my next question, give my listeners some more big names out there that's came through the academy. And, that's my biggest point is, you got to start somewhere, like you said, and then you got to put the time in. And I'm here to make sure that people like you guys don't go unnoticed. And, once again, we're talking with Yaden on the E's and B's podcast. And we got the Charge tapings are coming back. He's pretty excited. I'm excited. They're going to be back September 26th at Ramiro's K9 Club and Tap House. Bell time for the stuff there will be 8 p.m. The free stuff on Twitch, right? Starts at 6?
Yeah, so you'll have, when you go on Twitch, it's twitch.tv/Rocky Mountain Pro. You can just search Rocky Mountain Pro on Twitch. The pre-show will be live at 6, and we'll be discussing, what happened at Milestone, moving towards the tapings. And we're bringing back Ignition also. So Ignition has been our second show, and we've had it multiple times throughout the history of the company. And it more features the younger talent, the people training at the school, getting an opportunity to get some television time on a different show. And then that's going to be, I think, from 7:30 to 8 Mountain Time. You'll see Ignition stream that'll lead into Charge, and that's when it'll go into subscriber only for the tapings of Charged.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I cannot wait. So for the listeners out there that would like to join in attendance, how could they do that, Yaden?
So they can go to rmpwrestling.com and click on events. And actually, if you go to rmpwrestling.com, right there on the home page, you'll see like the news, and right next to it is the calendar, and you can just click on that to get the tickets.
Exactly. All right, we'll dive back into a little bit more about Yaden here. We're on the meat segment of E's and B's podcast. Yaden, tell the people out there, who's your favorite wrestler all time?
Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah, me too, man. You just
That's
can't.
an easy one.
Best promo, one of the best looks, had the best looking woman, if you know what I mean.
Well, and you know what? You mentioned that, and that's what I tell people when they ask me why, if they say, what is it about him? And again, I wasn't watching wrestling at his height. Like, I wasn't really watching it, right? So I had to kind of go back and watch. But even while I wasn't watching it, I knew who he was and thought he was cool. And then when I really started getting into it in the late 90s, he was kind of doing – he was more jacked up. He had Gorgeous George with him. He had the slick black hair and the real dark look, and it was just awesome.
Dark, yeah.
Actually, I had the chance to see a Nitro in Cleveland, Ohio. I think it was Cleveland.
Oh, wow,
It
nice.
might have been Columbus, but I think it was Cleveland. Joe, one of the guys that worked at the Beanie Wagon there, that got me into it.
Yeah.
So I feel very fortunate that I got to see him live. He didn't have a match that night, but I still got to see him, and I remember walking like past him, and like in the hallway, he was coming around with his bag, and like we walked past him. I'm like, oh my God, dude. There was just something about everything he did. But when you look at his whole career, he was, to me, everything. Like, if you built a wrestler and you wanted all of the top characteristics, like the Macho Man had him, because the athleticism, the build, the flamboyance, the promo, the gorgeous valet, like could be an amazing baby face, was also an amazing heel.
Yes,
he just was everything that professional wrestling is to me. So that's why he sits at the top as far as my favorites of all time.
Yeah, and I absolutely 100% agree with you. One of the things I kind of wish that wouldn't have happened was, McMahon kind of slowing him down, throwing him in the booth there at the end of the career, and then he transferred over to WCW and showed him showed everybody he still had something in the tank. I think that they kind of cut him off a little short, but you know how it goes in the business. It's just
right.
What's hot right now is what's hot, and that's just how it goes. To tell the fans out there a little bit about yourself, what's the favorite thing that you like about being the I wouldn't call it the trainer, maybe the coach of all these young students? What's your favorite thing that you like about that?
It just seeing people succeed, seeing people do things that they either know is a very difficult thing to accomplish, and a lot of times the doing things they never thought they could do, and pushing their own limits and succeeding. I think that's I'm trying to kind of bounce around in my head how to exactly put it, but watching people succeed, watching people live the dream, watching people do something so unique, so rare, like professional wrestling, and just seeing them live their dreams is a huge thing for us. It's the most satisfying thing I've ever done in pro wrestling, to be able to get someone in there. They have a love for professional wrestling. They sign up for the school, and then seeing them from day one and having this entire team of coaches and higher ranking students that help cultivate this great culture of hard work and togetherness and unity, and then seeing these people come together to lift themselves up, to lift others up, and then watching them go out and perform. And you could see it in their eyes, especially when they've come back through the curtain after their first match. It's like, oh, I did it. That's what it's all about. And just seeing that is what I'm most fond of when it comes to coaching.
And that's what it takes. That's what we're going to punch home, is just people like you, put the desire and the drive, and a lot of others, and they go, miles with it. And It's proven fact, like you said earlier. Just we could go through a number of talents that you guys have trained and put through the ringer, if you want to say. But before we wind down here, is there any chance we could maybe get a little peek underneath the ring skirt of what's going to maybe come up this Saturday?
So
next Saturday.
Next Saturday, right? The 26th. We're not 100% sure exactly who is taking on who yet. I mean, we're still looking at the fallout from Milestone 10.
Sure.
So JK Pop, where they were able to retain the tag titles, but I don't talk about that very much.
Right. Maybe get some revenge, man. That's
So,
about
well,
right.
Curtis and I had our opportunity. That was our rematch from the Pepsi Center show when they were able to capture them in the 6-man tag. But Curtis and I are doing some retooling, trying to figure things out. We'll actually be in Salt Lake City, Utah this weekend, competing in Devotion Championship Wrestling. Our friends there in Salt Lake City. Also, by the way, DCW, they are affiliated with Ohio Valley Wrestling, and they are an ASWA academy as well. So we're going to be out there with several other Rocky Mountain Pro talent and the great people of DCW. And Curtis and I are going to try to get our flow back, get back into things. So when we get back on the 26th, we'll be better prepared for whatever is thrown at us. But Dustin Urich successfully retained the Rocky Mountain Pro Championship, and as you saw, I mean, everything went out with this new kind of like faction that he's forming.
Right.
With the assistance Damon Ace and then the returning Mario Vanger. So we're tune in to see what's going to happen with all of that.
Exciting to see for sure.
Lockett's championship was not decided. So Lilith Grimm and Heidi Howitzer had wrestled each other earlier in the night, and then an attack on Ali Gatto and Rochelle Riveter, both returning to Rocky Mountain Pro, by the way, to compete for that vacated Lockett's title that was held by Abaddon
right.
Before she went to AEW. So there's so much still going that's in flux. I really don't know. I mean, I'm as in the dark as you are.
What about Jumbo? Jumbo going to be around?
Jumbo will be there. He defended that Ignition title, and the fun thing is now that Ignition is returning, because that's where that Ignition title
right. He's the Ignition.
He'll stand atop Ignition, and we'll see kind of if which of the new kids want to take a crack at him. So
see if any new talent's got what it takes. Jumbo's,
and then we also had a new Charge champion crowned as Bruce Wayans, unseated Lipto in that triple threat with Atiba, Lipto, and Bruce Wayans. He's been all over social media. If you're not following Bruce Wayans, follow him. He's all over the place. Have you seen it
on Twitter? I love it.
Yeah. He's all over it. So a lot of.
I hope to get him on the show sometime in the future.
You know what? I'll talk to him. He'll come on and talk to you. He's Curtis Cole calls him the yellow lab of Rocky Mountain Pro because he's just all over the place, and it's funny. But yeah, we'll get him on here for you.
Well, definitely. Yaden, I tell you what, it's been an honor and a pleasure having you on. Once again, folks, it's Romero's K9 Club Tap House, Saturday the 26th. Bell time 8 p.m. for the Charged event. Ignition will start 6 p.m. We're thinking. When I get more information from Yaden, folks, I'll get it on my webpage. Hopefully, we'll have maybe a fight card prior to the show. I'll be repeating this coming up all the way up until the 26th. Hey, Yaden, I want to know, is there anything out there you want to plug before we get off here?
No, I mean, you kind of covered it all. I mean, if you want to follow the social medias, if you want to follow Rocky Mountain Pro, rmpwrestling.com is the main page. And then we try to make it easy for everybody across all platforms. So Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, it's at the Rocky MTN Pro to find info, news, and events. And if you want to follow us on Twitch, again, twitch.tv/Rocky Mountain Pro. That's where we're streaming the most. That's where we're airing the most. You can also find us on the Fight app. You can find us on Impact Plus. And Right Now TV, we'll be making our return to Right Now TV. The episodes will be sent to them by mid-October. So look up Right Now TV. Check your local listings. You can also stream that online, rightnowtelevision.com. If you want to follow our Twitch-specific social media that kind of gives you all the alerts when we're going live and the new shows coming on Twitch, it's at RMP on Twitch across all social media. And then my social media platforms are all at Mercury Yaden across Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. So that's where you can find us. That's where you can find me. And we hope to see all of you there.
Like I said, Mercury Yaden, it's been a pleasure to have you on. I know we had a little bit of miscommunication for a little bit trying to get up to each other, but I'm glad to be having you here on the E's and B's podcast. And like I said, I'll be promoting you guys hard and heavy. And I can't wait to see some live action in person, man.
Appreciate it a lot. I appreciate you reaching out, getting us on, and let me know. We'll try to get some of the other talent here at Rocky Mountain Pro on here to chat with you.
Absolutely. Once again, guys, Charge coming back September 26th at Romero's K9 Club and Tap House. It's gonna be a good show. Be there or be on Twitch. All right, Yaden. Thanks again, buddy. Have a good day, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Talk to you again.